Welcome to the initiative HP Online Teaching Assistant by HP Education. Today, we will explain how to evaluate and assign tasks in Google Classroom. Before I start, I want to explain what Google Classroom is. It is a Google tool that allows us to easily create virtual classrooms where we can share information and content with students while allowing us to interact with them. These are 4 advantages to Google Classroom. It allows us to publish, comment, and facilitate debate in the classroom, assign and grade tasks, which is what we are going to see now. It allows us to customize each student's learning. It allows us to reuse the content of other classes, meaning we don't have to create from scratch. Now I'm going to go to my Chrome where I'm already logged in from my session. I just go to the 9 dots where all the apps are located and look for Classroom. Once inside, I go to the 4th grade biology class. The first thing you should remember is that to assign tasks, we must go to the Classwork tab. And here's the first tip. From Create, we can go to Topic. This is to organize the content of our classes. For example, the first topic we'll see in class is about animals. Click on Add. Now we'll create another topic, for example, plants, and add. As you can see, for each theme, a kind of block is created. To change the position of a theme, I can do it in 2 ways. From the 3 dots, move down, or just click on the block I want to move and drag it to the new position. Now I'm going to create the task. Click Create, Assignment, and the first thing is to give it a title. For example, Summary of the Animal Kingdom. If necessary, we can include instructions. Make a presentation of your summary of the Animal Kingdom. We can add or not more files, which can be from our Google Drive, a link or a file we upload from our computer, or a YouTube video. If we do not have any files created and we want to create one, we click Create, and we can choose any of these. In this case, I will select Docs. It opens a blank document in Google, and here we can add supporting information for the task. For example, 1. Highlights. 2. Links of interest. Once everything is ready, we can close the tab with the document. Remember that it is saved automatically. And now in Classroom, we can see the document. On the right, we'll get a drop-down. What can we do? That students can only see this document. That students can edit the file. This means that all students edit on the same document. Or I can choose to make a copy of this document for each student. That's to say that each student will have their own document to work on, but won't be able to see what others write. It's personal. As I want them to write about this document, I'll choose Make a copy for each student. Now let's look at the options panel on the right. We have that this task be assigned to my biology class, but I could add it to any classes I want, simply by checking these boxes. This is very useful when we have 3 groups of the same class. For example, 4th grade biology A, B, and C. We need to assign the same task to all 3 groups. We can also decide whether we want the task to go to all the students in the class or only a specific few. For example, if it was a recovery task that only pertains to 1 or 2 students. Then we have the value points. I can decide that it goes ungraded or change the number of points. I'll leave it at 100. Due date. I can define it, and the hour is optional if I want to or not. Topic. Remember the 2 topics we created at the beginning. I can select which topic this task corresponds to. So I choose Animals. We can create an evaluation rubric, reuse one we have created before, or import it from Google Sheets. So if I click Create Rubric, I'll see this, which is where I can insert each of the evaluation criteria along with their description, points, and levels. Let's do a quick exercise. First goes the criterion title, then what we will evaluate. Let's say fluency. The criterion description is optional. Now, at level title, I'm going to write excellent. Points, I'll give it a 5. And in description, I'm going to put the student often writes very well, uses words well. Here you can include everything that the student must do to achieve the grade of excellent. I'll add another level, which will be called good, and will have 4 points. And in the description, I'll put, the student's writing is sometimes good, and he/she uses vocabulary well. The next level, fair with 3 points, and in the description, the student occasionally writes well and makes good use of words. I can add as many levels as I want. I'll add the last one, which will be poor, which will be worth a point, and in the description says the student has trouble writing and rarely uses words correctly. Just as I've created this first criterion, I can add many more from here. Once we complete all the criteria of the rubric, we click Save. And as you can see, it appears here in Homework. The student will be able to see what is being evaluated. And the last thing we have to do is that we can assign the task immediately from this button. Schedule, if I wish to define that the task be published on a specific date and not today. Save Draft, if suddenly I decide to continue editing it later on. I'm going to click Assign. Now I'm going to go to the account of a student I've already opened in Google Classroom. So I'll go straight to the biology class, and in classwork, as you can see, there's the task, Summary of the Animal Kingdom. I go to Homework, and here I have the document. As it is a copy for each student, I just have to click on it to start working. If it had been a PDF or other document that's not within G Suite, we could create a new document from here, or upload one from our computer, being what would be sent to the teacher. Here we can add private comments for the teacher, and here we'd find comments from the rest of the class, meaning all classmates can see. I will click on the document the teacher sent me, and I can start editing it. When I'm finished, I can close the window, remember that it is saved automatically, and I can click on the Deliver button. We can always cancel the delivery in case something is wrong. Now I'm going to go back to the teacher's view. Update, and now I've received a homework assignment, and I can go see it. Here I've received the student's document, so I go in and see everything the student has done. I can make edits to the document for the student to see after. The student will see them as suggestions and can accept or reject them. I can also insert comments. Use larger letters, for example, and the comment is next to it. If it were a PDF document or an image, we could insert comments here on the right. Review your writing better, for example. Publish, and the student will have already received this comment, but only for him or her, not for the whole class. Since we have created an evaluation rubric, I can define here at what level it is, regarding each evaluation criterion. I only create one, but if I had more, they would appear here. So this would be your rating over 100, taking into account the points according to the criterion. If we disagree, we can always change it. When we have finished reviewing this student's homework, we can return it. And the student will be able to see the comments and corrections I've made. If more students have delivered the assignment, I could change from these arrows here to go through the other assignments without going back. And when I've finished reviewing them all, I would click on Return to send them back all at once. If I return to the General Board of Classroom, I get here the grade I've given them, and if necessary, I could change it, regardless of whether we have already returned the graded task to the student. I go back to the main menu of the class, and to see the grades, I can go to the Grades tab. As you see, a column appears here for each task created, and here in the rows, each student's grades would appear. We can have different types of grades, and if we go here to the configuration cog and look for the grading section, in this drop-down of overall grade calculation we have no overall grade, which is the one we have now, or we can choose between these other two, total points or weighted by category. I'm going to pick total points. We can allow to show overall grade to students or not. I'll say yes and save. Now, as you see, I've got another column in front of overall grade that tells us the percentage of all the tasks we have. That is the average of what each student would have. If we want to be more specific, we can go back to Settings and select the option Weighted by Category. And here, as it is by category, we have to determine which category each responds to. Then we can add them here and define the percentage. For example, individual tasks will be 30% of the grade. Another category, group tasks, 20%, class activities, 25%, and quizzes, another 25%. If it doesn't total 100%, it will not allow us to save. Since I already have 100%, I click Save. Perfect. Now when we go to the task we have created here in the 3 dots, we click Edit, and in Grade category, we will assign this task to one of the 3 we have created. For example, Individual Task, and Save. So when we are in Grades, it automatically calculates the average, taking into account the weights of each of the categories we've created. We just need to make sure that each task falls into a category for the calculation to be performed. Now, if I go back to classwork, I can also create a quiz assignment. By default, a blank quiz is created here, but we can also add one previously created from Google Drive. For example, I have one about animals. And I'm going to eliminate this one. I define the category here, which in this case would be quizzes. And in topic, I'll place it under animals. Due date. I'll say it is today, and I click Assign. I return to the student's account, refresh it, and as you can see, the teacher's comment and the grade appear. Now I go to the Classwork tab to see the quiz, so I answer these 2 questions quickly. One I'll answer OK, and the other incorrectly. Done. If I now go to the Teacher's View in the Grades tab, a column with the quiz I created a while ago should appear. If I click on the quiz, I can see it in Forms. As this is a self-grading quiz, if it had open questions, I would need to review them one by one to define the final grade. Or I could also change the grade from Classroom here. We click on Send the grade to the student, and that would be all. On the Grades tab, I'd get the 2 grades and the weighted. From Classwork, the other options I have is to create a question to generate a debate, and that between classmates that can be answered by each other. From Material, I can simply add content to Google Classroom that I want to share with my students. That way, they could view it. This will be all for today. Thank you for watching this video offered by HP Online Teaching Assistant, an initiative of HP Education.